Okay, here we are on aircraft information records, but before we start, I would like to summarize our previous discussion, and we call it fundamental subjects for successful operations. I put here this way: fundamental subjects successful operations. And I'm talking about, we were talking about commercial operation, ComOps, and non-stop flight. Now, number one was, we said it's proper aircraft make, model, and type. What this gives us, number one is the range. Okay, range or distance that we can cover. And number two is passenger capacity. Okay. Let me explain here. For example, our business model is based on CRJ 700, 900. And customer comes or investor comes and tells us to fly from, let's say, from New York to Tokyo, Japan, or Shanghai, and China, or Delhi, India. It is obvious that Bombardier CRJ 700, 900 is not for this type of operation. And then the same thing applies to passenger capacity. The investor tells us that he wants to have 200 or 300 seats, right? We cannot install 300 seats in CRJ 700, 900. CRJ 700, 900 is good for regional operations. Okay. Number two, we have proper business model. Okay. What it is for us, this number one is safety in place. Let me tell you here. I spent 6 years in Civil Aviation University, and from day one it was about safety, and all the way up to the last day it was about safety. Okay. Number two was effective operational model. Okay. Effective ops model. End of the day, our operation should be effective or should be profitable. Okay, I'm talking about from technical perspective. I think same thing applies in business perspective. Okay, and number three, or maybe we can combine for this reason. Number one and number two, and we can put this way. I would call it effectiveness control. Okay, effectiveness control. What does it mean? This business is too expensive. It is too expensive. Okay, and we need to control our effectiveness on daily basis. Okay. Now let's go back to our aircraft information records. Let's put here aircraft info records, recs, and also we have here three subjects. Number one, aircraft status. aircraft status. We need to know when we are buying aircraft, right? We need to know everything. It is old or it is new, it doesn't matter. We need to know everything, everything. Configuration, if ADSB was done, the repairs, etc., etc., etc. So we need to check all records, engine information also included. Number two, flight information. So we need to record all information about flight. Okay, and number three, it is occurrences or events. Okay, so we need to know all information about all occurrences during our operations. We have to record it. Okay, now as you can see, I put this warning here. Selecting proper aircraft is important part of the business, but I would like to mention here that again, let me give you some interesting story. A friend of mine, we graduated same university, he told me this story. Okay, I'm not gonna give you now a checklist here, but I think this story is tells a lot of interesting things about how to buy or how to take the leasing aircraft. Okay, so approximately 15 years ago, investor approached and asked him to help from technical side to establish a new airline. And the investor even said that, you know what, I have already chosen, I selected aircraft and I have a plan. And then investor said the aircraft type and model, etc., etc. And when my friend found out, he said, sir, you know what, this aircraft, yes, it is cheap, but it's old. And the investor says, no, you know what, I already had discussion with the owner, so we're gonna fly to Arizona, one of these aircraft scrapyards, so, and then you have to help me. He said, okay. So they arrived to aircraft, outside it was shining, inside it was shining. The owner was happy until now my friend says, okay, you know what, let's connect the ground power. And he said there was when they connected, there was some smell of burning wires. And he said within the next 30-45 seconds, they saw the smoke coming from central pedestal. So investor ran away from this aircraft, and then of course he said no, this type of aircraft. Okay, and the good news is that no papers or no any type of agreements or whatever was signed. Okay, which is good news. Otherwise, he would pay a lot of money. Okay, the thing is that when aircraft is on the ground and not flying, we have to still pay money. Okay. Now let's start from aircraft status. And what information we need, as we said in the airline record, we should have aircraft manufacturer serial number, date of manufacturing, model, type, delivery date, registration information, flight hours, total flight cycles. We need to know all this information about this aircraft. As I already mentioned, AD, if it was incorporated, service bulletins, modifications, repairs, structure repairs, etc., 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 etc. Exactly same story. The engines, right? About engines. Okay, we need to know the engine model, serial number, installation information, when it was installed, when it was removal information, when it was removed, overhaul, etc., repairs, etc., 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 etc. And the same thing applies to system and parts: name, part number, serial number, installation information, removal information, part flight hours or flight cycles, let's say landing gear. We are using flight cycles. We need to know if it was how many flight cycles we have on this landing gear. Okay, so all this information we need to know when we are buying aircraft or when we are taking it. It's old or new, it doesn't matter. Okay, we need to know all this information. And what we are doing actually, I call it configuration control. Okay, that's how we are controlling our configuration. What does it mean? For example, we're buying aircraft, and then let's say we want to use it. We want to fly the ETOPS, and then one of the questions, for example, ETOPS is the crossfit valve, fuel crossfit valve. Okay, so question is it how many crossfit valves we have? One or two? We have to know about this one. That's the configuration control. Okay, configuration management. Now, we took aircraft, we are flying, everything is okay. What information we are recording? Yes, operational attributes. You remember this New York Paris fly? We took off 10 o'clock in the morning, landed 1800. That's what it is about. So we need information about takeoff, time, date, location. In our case, it is New York, right? Flight number, I don't know, let's say XY7823, for example, right? Landing, same thing applies. The time, landing date, destination, location, flight numbers. Okay. Technical information about aircraft, total flight hours, total flight cycles, problems or events, pilot reports, system parts, total flight hours, flight cycles, problems, findings, maintenance report. Let me explain here. For example, we have aircraft, let's say flight hours, let's say 3,000 flight hours, okay? Now, we said that from New York to Paris, right? Charles de Gaulle Airport, it took us 8 hours. So these 8 hours, when it landed, goes here. So we'll have 3,008 hours, okay? Or let's say battery, we have to change every, I don't know, 1,000. I'm talking about now systems, right? So every 1,200 hours, flight hours, battery. Okay, and then we change it. Now new battery installed, it is approximately, I don't know, 1,000. Let's say it's not new. Okay, 1,000 flight hours. Okay, now we have to add these 8 hours here, and then becomes 1,008 hours. This information, all this information goes to the logbook. I'm talking about flight hours and cycles, flight hours, cycles, and then airline planning production department and records. They are doing this calculation, adding up all these 8 hours here with parts, with the aircraft, etc., etc. Okay, so this, as I said, this information goes to the logbook, and from logbooks we have records. Make sense? Then let me just give you some go a little bit forward. Then what the records is doing when, for example, as we said, battery was, for example, 1,200 flight hours. When we approach 1,000, battery approaches 1,200, PPCD, planning department, sends to maintenance to change the battery. Okay, that's how it works. Now let's go to our occurrence or event.